Hey everyone, day 14 of this vlog as we continue to navigate what it means to be the church, as we have to be socially distant and physically absent from one another, that we can still be spiritually present, relationally present with one another, and be the church that clings to the promises that God gives us, that we spend time in the Word, that we hold on to the things that never change, even while so much around us seems to be changing. Once again, a big word of thank you to everyone who's on the front lines against this pandemic and this virus. Doctors, nurses, technicians, medical staff and personnel at hospitals who are working their hardest to restore life and maintain life for those who are, both those who have the coronavirus and also those who don't and have to be in hospitals right now. We're with you. I keep you in my prayers all the time, that God protects you, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing this loving and caring work, being in the hands and feet of Jesus in a really dire situation. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Moment of truth telling this morning. I woke up this morning in a really cranky mood, in a really grumpy mood. Just not in a good place. I didn't sleep well last night. I had to get up a couple times, and my sweet daughter was the one who woke us up a couple times right at the end of the time when I was hoping I'd be able to sleep, and it just totally rubbed me the wrong way, and my whole family just couldn't know it really easily. In fact, I was working on getting an update put on our computer so the rest of the family could use it for their school stuff and whatnot. And the kids were running up to Leanne in the bedroom and saying, "What's up with Dad? There's something wrong with him. He's really just seems angry about something." And so as I'm sitting there fiddling with the computer trying to get it updated and everything, my sweet little girl, Greta, came over, the one who woken me up, and she sat on my lap and she asked if she could do her devotion. And she's just learning to read, but it warms my heart when I hear her read anything, and to see her grow in that way, but especially for her to ask to do her devotion time and to read those faithful words out to me. It was just exactly what I needed to break that funk. And God knew that I needed that. And again, I found ways to restore the relationship with the rest of my family, and we've walked forward. But my goodness, it was a rough morning, and it just kind of made me realize that I'm tired. And if you're anything like me, I'm guessing that to a certain degree, in one way or another, whether it's physically, whether it's emotionally, whether it's mentally, whether it's spiritually, or maybe all of the above, you're feeling a little tired right now. I know I certainly am. And sometimes it takes a moment like that where you hit a wall and start lashing out at people around you to realize that you're tired and you need some rejuvenation. And what an amazing thing to have a little child come and kind of say, "I want to be the hands and feet of Jesus to you today." Maybe not using those words, but that's what the communication is. So I'm thankful that I have little Greta, who's not getting to be not so big anymore, or not so little anymore, I should say. 7 years old. She's getting to be a big girl, but to have her be the hands and feet of Jesus was just really touching for me this morning. And it put me in mind of one of the things that I've always found comfort in the words of Jesus. Something really simple this morning. Matthew 11, at the end of a lot of doubt and unresponsiveness that Jesus sees in people around him, first from John the Baptist and also from kind of a blanket. Everybody's not quite getting this. Jesus has a little prayer with his Father, and then he says this at the very end of Matthew 11. These words should sound familiar to many of you. "Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take up my yoke and learn from me, because I am lowly and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Now, again, as we continue to go through this time and have to adopt a lot of different practices and different habits, and still cling to the things that never change, it's a little bit exhausting. Sometimes it's extremely exhausting. And I know I probably don't know the half of it, thinking about those who are on the front lines every day. But to those of us who are feeling tired and worn out, I think this word from Jesus is exactly what we need. That the things that only Jesus can do, he's going to do. And he's going to take care of the things that are God-level stuff. And what I need to do is just trust him, that he's going to take care of me and all those around me, those who are in really dire situations. He's going to be the one to bring healing and comfort, even when I'm at the end of my capacity to do that. I think that fits really well with kind of where the chapter from Joining Jesus hits us today. Chapter 12 is called Seeking the Kingdom. And again, this book has a lot of words of challenge to us to kind of step into some new habits and practices and ways of seeing the world even. But there's a lot of comfort in here as well, as Finke continues to remind us that this job of growing the kingdom and doing stuff that Jesus does is not on us, that he's going to do the heavy lifting. And so page 103 is where I am right now as we talk about the 5 faith practices. Seeking the kingdom is the first practice. And when Jesus says that in Matthew 6, what he says is essentially, seek the kingdom first and everything else is going to fall into place. And so this is how Finke puts it, middle of the page on page 103. John the Baptist reminds us that we can only act on what God is giving. He said concerning his ministry, a man can receive only what is given from above. That's John 3. His words apply to seeking the kingdom of heaven in general. We don't have to manipulate or cajole kingdom opportunities. We watch for them. Isn't it good to know we don't have to manufacture kingdom opportunities? That's God's job. He does the heavy lifting. Proverbs 69 says it concisely. In his heart a man plans his course, but the Lord determines his steps. So the pressure is off us. Great good news. We go about our day as planned, but we watch for what Jesus is up to in the midst of it. The pressure is off of us. Doesn't that sound so much akin to that idea of Jesus, come to me, you who are weary and burdened, and I'll give you rest? I hope that's a bit of good news for you on this Thursday. And that's all I got for you for today. In the meantime, stay in the Word, be well, look out for your neighbors and those around you, and I'll see you tomorrow. God's peace to you. Pastor out.